So here they are. The entire earth is already covered with these things, and they're going to make it even worse. They're going to put a 5G tower every 300 meters or about every 1,000 feet, no matter what. They don't care. They don't mind that they haven't been tested. They don't understand or care that these things, just these towers by themselves, the 3 and 4G towers, have caused unbelievable amounts of difficulty, neurological damage, and pain to people.
This stuff is untested on kids. Their safety is not certain.
These untested technologies are, at this time, not ready to be unleashed into our lives.
Research on the effects of cell radiation has been inconsistent. According to the National Cancer Institute, a limited number of studies have shown some evidence of statistical association of cell phone use and brain tumor risks, but most studies have found no association.
Can cell phones really cause cancer? It's been a question that's dodged researchers for years. But a group of experts are now saying the results of some tests are pretty surprising.
Millions, maybe billions of us constantly call, text, click, take pictures, and play on our cell phones. Even the top cellular radiation researchers from around the world have a hard time untethering. But they gathered recently in North Carolina to talk about cell phone concerns and whether they really do increase our chances of developing cancer. The panel voted that the results from years of testing on mice and rats were more significant than originally thought. They say they found clear evidence that phone radiation caused tumors in the hearts of rats, similar to tumors in people.
Now, I'm not going to bore everyone with this overview by Tom Wheeler, the FCC chairman at the time when this was all decided and deployed. But I will take note or let you know that this guy was the former senior lobbyist for the people that are putting this all in place. So they simply took their number one salesman, inserted him into the FCC in order to get this all passed, and well, the rest will be history. Now, what I'm making this video about is an email that somebody sent me, and I'm going to show it to you. This is from Mindy Page. Check this out. She's talking about the Nazca lines, the ley lines, and the stone circles. She said, we also have a ton of media out there about magic being reborn. We know the ancient people in the first church had lots of miracles going on. Rumors and records of it existing as of miracles and so on long after Jesus ascended. So here's her theory. Every time we have a biblical record of the heavens opening, it fed energy into this plane. So Adam and Eve were the cause of this plane being separated, but we had enough energy to keep the ambient magic power going. The environment was soaked in it. We also know the windows of heaven were opened during the flood for 40 days, so another boost, so to speak. What she's saying is, before the veil was placed between physicality and spirituality, there was magic, so-called miracles. Once Eve was beguiled by the Nakash, or the serpent in the garden, and talked Adam into biting of the apple or the fruit from the tree of good and evil, that window was closed. What she's saying here is that sometimes the windows were opened and they were using the magic that was flowing from heaven onto earth. Then we have Nimrod trying to build a tower. Lives started getting shorter, technology getting simpler, and so on. Then we have Jesus coming back, and we get miracles again for a short period of time. The veil was torn for a while. The dead were raised again for a time. We know there is a restrainer in place right now, and that the restrainer will be removed. So we also know the other side has been getting power boost using blood sacrifice. We have prophecy that states we will have miracles, both good and bad, going on in the end times. Why? The veil is going to be ripped open again, CERN and the 5G. I think this is also why so many of us have neurological pain conditions. I can't tell you how many women who are in the same boat I am, as in dedicated to Jesus, and seeking God for all we are worth. that have oversensitive and overactive nervous systems. We have wiring in our bodies that handles electrical signals and so on, but no outlet to balance everything. Anyway, I think they're going to try to get the grid up and use it against God. However, the power will be flowing in both directions. So I think we have both sides working miracles and signs. I just thought I'd run this by you. I have faith in Yahushua HaMashiach and I don't know how to say that if you were supposed to get or understand this message, you will. Well, here's what I came up with. I did a live stream not too long ago, and I was associating these directly with ancient obelisks back in the golden age of humanity, back in the golden age that they're trying to recreate right now. Now, maybe this makes sense to you, maybe it doesn't, but see these? Absolutely all over the place. These guys found these things everywhere, always in front of a great place of power where a king and queen allegedly were, and then they moved them. They took actual obelisks from Egypt and they placed them in certain locations all over the earth. Luxor obelisk in Paris, the obelisk of Thutmose III in Istanbul, obelisk of Senseret in Heliopolis, and the list goes on. But don't forget that we have one at the Vatican. We have one in D.C., Paris, New York City. They're all over the place, and it's one of the favorite headstones or grave markings that Freemasonic people love to use. Excuse me. You see these things absolutely everywhere. These were always made out of a material that was very conducive to electricity. Do you see what I'm saying? And to me, it appears that's exactly what these things will be. You combine these with AI, you combine these with frequencies, these guys are going to be able to use this as a multifaceted weapon against humanity. This is the beast system rising. They'll be able to use these things to accept power as it is passed down from heaven to earth. They'll also be able to use this to put voice to skull technology, to put thoughts and visions in your head and in the sky. It's the same reason they're filling our atmosphere with metal. And people won't even look at it. They don't even see it. It astonishes me how many people post pictures on Instagram and so forth, and they'll show something, and in the background, the sky is just an absolute checkerboard, and they just don't see it. They just don't care. And at this point in the game, I think that some people just aren't ever going to get it, and they aren't ever going to care. They're always going to call us crazy. They're always going to call us conspiracy theorists, but there's something going on here that's much bigger than us. There's something going on here that's been going on since the dawn of man. Our history is not what they tell us it is. People have been decoding our ancient past for a long, long time. Do you think somebody went through all the time and effort to draw this image that's miles long for no particular reason, and it can only be seen from heaven? They tell you all the time it can only be seen from outer space, but outer space is nothing but helium-4 or helium-5, one of the two, but it's a liquid. That's why when you look up there and see the stars in the night sky, it appears that it's behind a veil of liquid. Well, that's because it is. There's a reason that these guys made mounds like the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio. This thing is absolutely massive. I'm taking imagery of it right now with a camera that's 600 feet above the earth. 600 feet. This thing is absolutely massive. I took it in 4G, so that's why it's running so slow. But every one of the coils points to a constellation or a mark in the sky. This has been here for time immemorial, and the fact that the manifest destiny scumbag elitist left this means it serves a purpose. I've shown you this before. The snake is coming out of a spiral, and over here it's holding an egg in its mouth. The spiral is a portal. The egg would probably be humanity, at any rate. There is nothing new under the sun. What we're seeing has been here before. There is nothing new under the sun. These will be used to gather power and control people. These will be used to gather power and control people. Richie from Boston. Full armor of God. Or don't. But you've been warned. I'm out.